Welcome to Attenuation, a weekly podcast where two friends come together to drink beer, discuss beer styles and trends, and just generally ruminate on the meaning of life, aka beer. If you enjoy your time with us, we invite you to become a weekly listener and subscribe to the podcast. Without further ado, here is this week's episode.
Hello, and welcome to episode 72 of Attenuation, a beer podcast. My name is Jason, and I'm joined by my best friend since 8th grade, Steven.
Hello.
How are you doing today, sir?
So good.
You ready to drink some beer and talk about beer?
I am very ready for that. End of a long work week.
Yeah, it's your Friday. I'm jealous.
And my birthday eve.
And your birthday is tomorrow. Back-to-back birthday episodes.
Must be August.
Yeah, it's true. Today we're going to talk about the other things we drink.
What did we do in August last year? I'll have to look that up.
I don't know.
Did we drink anything special for our birthdays? I don't think we did. Did we even talk about it?
I don't think we even mentioned it.
We're all about our birthdays this year, apparently.
Yeah.
Yeah, other things we drink. This is the Attenuation, a non-beer podcast.
Yeah, we did a deep dive last week, so this week we're just going to do something fun. No researching.
We can only do so much of that.
Yeah, it feels like homework.
Yeah. Seems not fun sometimes.
You have to read articles and make notes. It's terrible.
Yeah, what am I in school?
I just want to drink beer.
Oh, we got good ones for you today, too.
Yeah, speaking of drinking beer, we can do our first segment and our favorite part of the podcast, and that's drinking beer. So I introduce my beer, give nose notes. Steven does the same. Then we cheers and give tasting notes. So today I have, for my massive Tab War box that has filled my beer fridge to the brim, that cost me so much money that I just deleted the app. I have a Citra triple dry hopped Juicy Bits from Weldwerks, which I'm pretty excited because I've never had a Juicy Bits. I wish I could have got just the original, but I'll settle for this one because I really want to try one.
I mean, everything Weldwerks does. That's one of those breweries, they just do everything perfectly.
Oh, they have at least one bad beer.
I don't know.
You're like, everything is good.
I have to say, it's probably my favorite brewery. Like, if I had to just pick one. They're so, like, their sours are good. Their hoppy stuff is good. Their stouts are good. Their pilsners are good. Dude. In fact, you know what's really funny? Their motto is dialed in beer. Doesn't say that on the can.
I love that.
Something about dialed in.
I'll look for it in a second. I was reacting because the second I opened the beer and started pouring it, the whole room started smelling like...
Dude, look at that color.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to show you.
You got the hop aromas in your...
Oh, yeah, just like filled the room with tropical hop aromas. The color's crazy. It's super opaque, so super hazy. And then it's almost hard to describe. It
almost looks like fresh pineapple juice.
Yes, that's exactly what it looks like.
It's like so hazy, but but so pale yellow.
Yeah, it's pale yellow. Yeah, like very pale yellow.
Like a whitish yellow.
I'm so bad at describing colors. That's what I've realized from doing this podcast.
I'm so bad.
Also, my wife always tells me, like, I'll say that something is a color, and she's like, it's absolutely not that color.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh.
Yeah, I have some color blindness.
Oh, okay. You have an excuse.
Can you pass the colorblind test?
Yeah, I take
the one with the circles and the numbers in it.
Mm-hmm.
I hate you.
How colorblind are you?
I mean, I'm not like super colorblind. Like, I know the colors of the street lights. When like bold colors, I'm fine with. It's like pale-ish pastel colors. They all look great to me.
Wow, that's wild.
Yeah.
That's not something you can fix with those glasses, is it?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Okay, what are you smelling?
Okay, yeah, nose notes. Well, because I'm impressionable, and you said the word pineapple, it's like the first thing I smelled. Yeah, pineapple, grapefruit, a real, like, dank pine note, or like hoppy pine note, sorry. Maybe a little orange juice, too. That's about it.
That sounds yummy. Okay. We are pulling out the big guns today because you have a Weldwerks beer. I have a Bottle Logic beer today.
Do you really?
Yes. This is Bottle Logic's Perfectly Preserved. This is from a series. There's a board game called Campy Creatures.
Haven't heard of that one.
Yeah. Anyway, this is a collaboration with the board game Campy Creatures. So they all have there's all these characters from the game. This one is the mummy. They're
cool.
They're like scary people. I think there's like a Demogorgon. There's a bunch of different. So anyway, this is the mummy. The can art's really cool from the game. It's like this mummy, she's awoken from the tomb. She awakened from the tomb. I don't know. I don't know the verb conjugations of to awaken.
of returning to life. Yeah.
And then she has like this cobra wrapped around her arm. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, I like that can art.
And it says they thought they buried their worst nightmare, but they didn't. Okay, this is a tart ale brewed with white peaches, yellow peaches, and nectarines.
Ooh, I like that.
I'm pretty excited about this one. I'm all about like a fruited sour that's not like, a smoothie sour where it's like the fruit puree. I don't like the thick ones. I mean, I do, but...
Yeah, I agree. I'm less of a fan when they do like the actual pureed fruit because then it just becomes like a Jamba Juice to me.
Yeah, it's like you don't have to be nuanced at all. Ooh, it's like a beautiful golden color. There we go again with my...
You're jinxed now. Yeah, the same color blinded can.
Yeah, it has that like very like nectarine-ish orange to it though. So it's kind of this like how they call white peach, but white peaches are still kind of orangish. That's what this is. Kind of light colored, but it's very clear. Oh my gosh, this beer smells so good.
Really?
It has this like beautiful underlying like bready malt, like sort of your standard beer smell, but then it just like wafts over with peaches, like a sour peach ring, kind of very
cool.
very candied, sweet plastic peach smell. Okay, this is gonna be so good. I'm so excited for this.
All right, cheers, sir.
Cheers.
Okay, I know this is a variant, and I never tried the original, but if this is anything like the original, I understand why people like this beer. It's really good. So on the initial taste for me, it's like pineapple, like cantaloupe, and then you get kind of like a really strong pine grass hop flavor, but not overly bitter, but just you get that nice hop flavor. And then I swear you get like, it's like orange sherbet.
Yummy.
Not in the sweet way, but like, it's like the flavor of orange sherbet with no sweetness, if that makes sense. Mm-hmm. And then it's really thick and creamy. And then I swear on the finish, it's like maybe like tangerine or mandarin orange. It has a really long finish. And this is 6.7% alcohol. So I guess that's pretty normal for an IPA, but you don't taste the alcohol at all. This is like really... Oh, you're right. It says dialed in beer.
Yeah, right? Yeah, I knew that was like a motto I thought they used. But...
Keep cold, drink now, dialed in. Yeah, this is super solid. Like, if I could just buy this at the grocery store, I think I would just have it in my fridge all the time.
I know. I always think, like, man, if I lived anywhere near that brewery, I would just be there every day.
I mean, I know it's not true because I can go to the grocery store right now and buy, like, fresh Pliny the Elder, and I don't because it's the local phenomenon, like, where you don't appreciate things that are around you. But this is really good.
That's true. But if I had a brewery close, I would be there every day because I don't have a brewery close. I mean, I have some amazing breweries very, very near where I live, but nothing like what they have on tap all the time there. Like, it's ridiculous. The wide range of sours and
that's true. They do a lot of good sours.
Like, I could go there every day and drink something different and be so happy.
Yeah, well, you just got to move to
Greeley, Colorado.
Oh, it's not even. It's like in the middle of nowhere, Colorado, too.
Yeah, I mean, it's North Denver.
Okay.
It's just north of Denver. It's kind of, I don't know. It is kind of like Weldwerks is the best thing happening in Greeley, Colorado. Well, Weldwerks and Wiley Roots is there too. Wiley Roots is good too. But they specialize in the smoothie sours.
Gotcha.
So
yeah, so big thumbs up for me on this one. I still want to try the original Juicy Bits, but this felt like a good preview.
Nice. Well, I keep saying when we go to the Great American Beer Festival. Well, I don't know if we talked about this, but I booked the New Belgium tour.
Oh yes.
So we're like flying into Denver, and we both get there pretty early in the morning, so we have time to drive up to Fort Collins and do the New Belgium tour, and then get back to Denver for the festival that night. I'm so stoked.
It's going to be a good day.
Yeah, but there is some opportunity. We could drive up to Greeley, go to Weldwerks.
We'll see how we feel.
Remember we tried it. We had that one where we went to the afternoon session, and then we went to a brewery afterwards, and we're like, we were just like looking at our beers like, do you want to drink that? I don't want to.
No.
It was so much
We were
beer
so
drinking.
sick of beer by then. Yeah.
I know. I was like, even the New Belgium tour, like, I'm gonna have like 1, maybe 2 beers or something, because
Yeah, you don't want to
can't wear out your palate before the festival.
Exactly.
But the tour is gonna be so cool.
Yeah, I'm excited.
All right, so my beer is so good. It's
Oh,
so
nice.
good. It's just a tart wheat ale with like a really nuanced peach and nectarine flavor. Like, it's not overwhelming. It's almost like the nose is stronger than the beer flavor, but it's just really well balanced on kind of a Berliner Weiss base, so you get this like nice lemongrass and cracked wheat flavor with this like champagne level dryness. So it's not sweet. It's just really like a really nice peach and nectarine flavors, like with just a slight hint of tartness and a dry finish. And man, it is so good. I'm digging it. This is, I think, the first beer I've ever had from Bottle Logic.
Where did you get this?
Tabor.
Oh, okay. Huh, I didn't see that on there.
There's
Yeah,
a lot of Bottle Logic stuff on there now.
So I've been to Bottle Logic. Did I tell you that?
Yeah.
It was like one of the most disappointing breweries I've ever been to.
Well, so you love fundamental observation.
Yes.
By the way, I was at my softball game a few weeks ago, and my friend that plays, my coworker I play with, there was like a discussion at one end of the dugout.
Okay.
And she goes, Steven, they have a question. You'll probably be able to answer. I was like, what? And they're like, hey, do you know what brewery makes fundamental observation? And I was like, oh, it's Bottle Logic in Anaheim. And she's like, I knew he would know. It was pretty funny.
That's amazing.
I got some street cred for that.
It's like such obscure knowledge, but I love how they were like, he'll know.
That's so great. She's like, he has a beer podcast. He'll know.
Yeah, so we went, and I think the problem is my expectations were like sky high. And, they just have like whatever 6 to 10 beers they make like on the regs.
Yeah.
And I got like a flight of all of them because that's how I roll. And it was fine. It was like solid, but I was ready to have like mind-blowing experiences. But
I hope they have that at the beer festival.
They had it the last 2 times we went.
Because I want to try it.
It's one of those things
actually like understand it.
Yeah. It is one of those ones they only pour for like an hour or whatever. So
you have to be there at the right time.
We'll make sure we time it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, this might be the first year you can appreciate it.
100%.
Wait, have you tried it? The other 2 years?
Because I think I have. Like
and you just made a face.
Well, I think you can tell from my, being like, I think I have. It obviously wasn't memorable for me, but that's because I had no idea what I was drinking, and it was way beyond my palate at the time.
Yeah.
Because I just remember I was like, I'd rather just watch you drink it.
Yeah.
that was more enjoyable.
Well, I really credit my ability to enjoy barrel-aged stouts to drinking Scotch for like 2 decades. So we'll get into that because that'll be part of the episode.
Yeah, the perfect segue.
But yeah. No, but we have to do...
Oh, yeah, we have other...
And story
we have
time
other
with
segments.
Steve. Come on, stick to the script.
Okay, I'm just saying. Eventually, it will segue.
We're having a
fun... really long segue.
A fun episode when we're like 10 tangents in and we haven't even finished your beer. So is it a thumbs up? Do you have anything else to say about it?
I just love it. I love it. This is why, like, what I was saying is like, yeah, the smoothie sours, whatever, they're fun, they're gimmicky. It's basically just juice and it's great. But like, this is beer.
Yeah.
And this is a sour, like, this is a fruited beer, but this is an actual beer. It has elements of beer that like you can actually describe instead of just being like, well, it tastes like a Jamba Juice. So, and I think Bottle Logic is doing a lot more smoothie sours too. Those are popping up on tap a little bit too, and even Weldwerks, because that's one of the things I've always loved about Weldwerks is they do a lot of like, they have a fruity pebble sour, but it's like the most non-gimmicky fruity pebble sour ever. It's a beer. It tastes like a beer. It's clear. and it has all these elements of beer with these just amazing flavors that they unlock. So they do a really good job of that. But they're even doing some more smoothie sours too. So it's a thing. It's a thing we'll live with, and it's fun. But these are the beers that really get me right here.
I agree. Because the thing is, I think when you add the fruit puree, like, you're just obliterating like every other flavor, and it's so easy to hide behind the fact that you just poured 3,000 pounds of strawberries into it. Like, yeah, of course it's gonna taste good. Like,
it's like the antithesis to the Pilsner, right? Like,
yes.
Pilsner, you have nowhere to hide.
Right.
Smoothie sour, you have everywhere.
Yeah, you have a metric ton of pureed fruit to hide. Yeah.
So true.
Okay, good. I'm glad you liked it, and it was your first bottle logic, so that's exciting. Okay, so I have a postscript, a super short and easy one. I looked up if there was a double IPA day, and there is not. So there's a national IPA day, but there's no national double IPA day. So it's not as bad as I thought.
Should submit that to the national.
Yeah, let's get it made.
You submit double, I'll submit triple.
There we go. Get them all
covered.
Then
we'll submit quadruple IPA.
Okay, so then that was our postscript. Wait, did you have any postscripts? I
don't think so.
And then do you have a beer news? And we have a Storytime with Steve segment.
Yeah. So I came across this crazy article on Good Beer Hunting. They always have some really insightful stories about the current beer landscape, but it was all about CO2 and some of the CO2 shortages that breweries across the United States are experiencing. And it kind of has to do with a lot of the supply shortages and supply chain issues that are making all the beer ingredients expensive. Aluminum cans have been an issue, malt has been an issue, packaging materials, and it's not only like supply chain and production issues, but also transportation issues and having enough truck drivers and that kind of stuff. But one of the big issues right now is a CO2 shortage. And of course, all breweries need CO2 to function. They need it to can their beer and then also serve their beer. And when there's a shortage, of course, like the price goes up. And so you've seen, there's one brewery that said, it usually costs about $150 in CO2 to carbonate and pack up a beer for distribution. Mm-hmm. And, when it used to be 11 cents per pound and now it's $1.20 per pound, you're looking at $750, $850 for that same beer. And there's just like, there's no recuperation of that cost. So it just goes up that much. It's kind of like gas prices when they go crazy high. It's like, you're just driving the same. Like, nothing about your life changed other than it
just costs more.
Yeah. So anyway, so that's an issue, but it's crazy. So of some of the issues, like I said, trucking and production, but there was a contamination in the supply of carbon dioxide from one of the producers in Mississippi. So it's just these random, it's just such weird things that you certainly would never hear about if you were, if you're not even interested in. It's not something that's going to be on the headlines of the news.
Right.
Some CO2 plant being contaminated, but it's so strange because they have to meet food grade standards.
I guess that makes sense. I mean, it's going into food, so
yeah. So yeah, I'm sure they're heavily regulated, maybe even by the FDA. But yeah, and then of course high fuel costs and stuff are making the costs go up of everything. But what's really interesting is that there are some breweries that are just not reporting any issues. They're just no, we've been able to get it. It's been fine. And then other breweries are barely getting by. They are praying daily that they're going to get their shipment. And when the guy does show up, they just run and give him a hug and a kiss. They know they don't have to close their tap room that day because they don't have any CO2. So it's kind of crazy living on the edge. There's so many, this weird, just a weird time to be alive right now.
Yeah, I feel like there's been a shortage of everything that exists at this point.
Yeah. Well, and the saddest thing is some breweries, they just say, look, this is just how it is right now. They just pay the higher cost and, it's not really long-term thinking.
Yeah.
So they say, oh, I guess I have to pay that. I just will, but you can't actually afford to do that for a long time. Yeah. And they lose all their margin on their beer. So that's unfortunate. And, we are seeing a lot of these breweries. We're seeing breweries close, and I think probably has to do with some of these issues where they say, let's just keep paying these higher prices for now, stay in business, and keep being able to actually deliver our beer. And eventually you just can't do that anymore if you're not making any money doing it.
Time to switch to 100% bottle condition.
Yeah, right? Right, yeah, seriously. Jester King's like, meh, we're good.
Yeah, right? We make our own CO2.
So, that actually, you're all on the segues today, Jason. He's got it down. So anyway, the article goes on to talk about this thing produced by a company called Earthly Labs, which is the CO2 recapture system. So, of course, you have all the CO2 coming naturally off the beer during fermentation. So they have systems to capture that CO2 and then, recycle it and use it to carbonate the beer as well. So.
Oh, I love that.
So it kind of is like bottle carbonate, like bottle conditioning.
Yeah,
so,
you're still injecting CO2, but it's literally like CO2 the beer made. That's so cool.
So Austin Beer Works in Austin, Texas, they were one of the first breweries to use this system. They installed it in 2018. About 15% of the CO2 they use is from
the recapture
Earthly Lab system. Yeah.
Huh, very neat.
Yeah. But, there's a cost to everything, and it costs about $90,000 for a brewery to have this system in place.
Yeah. So. I feel like it's like solar panels. It's like, oh, it'll pay for itself in 20 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's like the long-term thinking that also is like, we're going to be around that long? Is it really going to be worth it? Yeah. So that's it. Yeah, that's kind of your brewery landscape news report.
More sad reports.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. Ugh, it's just a weird time. Weird landscape out there, but just keep going out supporting your local breweries. That's all I can say.
Yeah, for sure. All right.
Before they all sell out.
Yeah, before they all. Yeah.
To Budweiser.
We just have one. Yeah. Your choice is InBev. Yeah. All right, we're ready for a Storytime with Steve segment, which has been granted a continuation.
Can't believe it. It's making a second week. I'm very excited.
We went to the board of directors and they all gave thumbs up. So.
They loved it.
Loved it.
Okay, so Storytime with Steve. Well, I came home today. So it's been a crazy week. Just like a lot of work and a lot of craziness around the house. And then my birthday's tomorrow, and that causes a lot of ruckus, right? A lot of excitement around the house. And anyway, it's just been a crazy week. And I went out to my beer fridge in my garage today. And I opened the door, and the light didn't come on. Never a good sign.
The bulb could have just burned out.
That's true. That's the most optimistic for sure. And but I reached in and everything was not so cold. And I checked the freezer and stuff was not so frozen.
That's not good.
So I did a few things. Like, it was kind of weird because it sounded like it was running, but still, like, the light wasn't coming on. Like, mess with the breaker to make sure. I did just have the level 2 charger installed for an electric vehicle, so I was like worried about maybe some just electrical issues in the garage or whatever. But everything seemed fine. Everything seemed good electrically. So I had to. So obviously, my brain first goes to, I got to get the smoothie sours into the inside.
This is an emergency. Yeah.
These are getting way too warm. Okay, we're gonna get re-fermentation.
Yeah, secondary fermentation. Yeah.
So I got the beers that needed to go inside, back inside in the fridge. Had to throw out some leftovers to make room.
Hey, sacrifices need to be made.
And then my wife was like, "Did you bring the milk in?" No.
You're like, we can buy more milk. We can't buy more of these beers.
Can't buy more Bottle Logic beers. Okay.
Yeah.
Milk is easy to replace.
Yes.
So anyway, the beer fridge had died apparently, but there is a twist because I went back out. I tried to kind of pull the fridge away from the wall, see what was like, if I could figure out anything was going on, and I sort of plugged it into something like a different plug. Anyway, I opened it up and the light was back on, and it sounds like it's running.
Signs of life.
So I'll probably have to check in the morning to see if anything's cold in there because honestly, it's so hot in the garage right now that it's gonna take a good solid 16 hours to get stuff cold again in the fridge. So
yeah,
if it's working, so we'll see.
That's sad news on the beer fridge.
Yeah.
Now, how old was that fridge?
They were supposed to live forever.
Refrigerators?
The Facebook Marketplace beer fridge is supposed to last forever. I thought.
So it depends on when it was manufactured. That's the thing.
Okay.
So if it was made in like the last 20 years, it's gonna break.
Gotcha.
There's like, there's like a whole, I see it every once in a while. There's like a Buy It for Life subreddit, and there's like certain washing machines like that someone just said they drove like 6 hours to get one that someone was selling because they're from like,
it's just going to keep running forever.
Yeah, they're just from like a different era where things were like designed to last forever.
Mm-hmm.
So if you have one of those refrigerators,
yeah, and just like simpler, right? Like,
yes,
simple to maintain. You didn't have so many like electronics and sensors and all that stuff.
Yeah, actually, when we got this house, I had to buy my first washer and dryer, and I specifically searched out a washer and dryer that just had mechanical knobs. It's like the most entry level one, and I was at Best Buy or whatever picking them out, and she was like, "Are you sure you want these like basically crappy washer and dryer?" And I said, "Yep." And she's like, "You don't want one with like like the screen or whatever?" And I was like, "Absolutely not. Like that will 100% break in like 2 years, and then it's gonna cost $200 to get it switched out." So yeah. My wife was sad. She wanted beeps and boops and lights, but I won that argument. So yeah, they still make them like where it's all just the thing that you twist, and it's got like the big it's got the big spring in there. Yeah,
kind of push down and then turn. It's awesome.
Yeah,
but it really is like cars are like that too, because I have like this old pickup truck, and I love opening the hood. Looking in that hood, there's like so much space in there.
Yeah,
it's just like this like perfectly designed engine area where like you can like dive in there head first. There's so much room to move around. Like some cars these days, man, you open the hood, you're like, how do you even fix anything in here without?
Yeah, my sister has a Ford Escape, and apparently to change the battery in that car, you have to take off like 3 parts. And it's like, who designed this?
It's so dumb.
Yeah, because her battery died, and they could not. I can't remember what happened, but they ended up having to go get the battery at Walmart River, and they were having so much trouble to like get it, and so they finally just had the guy come do it, and then it took him like an hour, and then he's like, I'll never do that again.
Yeah, changing a battery should take like 5 minutes.
It should take 5 seconds. Yeah, it's so stupid. But no, that's what happens these days. It's because you're right, there's like a million things packed in there.
Yeah, there's so many other like sensors and parts now. And well, like, we also have to plug in a hybrid. Like, and somebody was asking me like, you mean it has like a full gas engine and like a hybrid battery motor it's big enough to power the car by itself? Like, that's a lot.
It's a lot of parts.
That's a lot of stuff. In fact, the earlier iterations of this van have had like the stow and go seating where you can literally put the captain's chairs all the way down into the bottom and have a completely flat.
Oh, I love that. Like
the seats would like basically disappear into the bottom of the van. Like you can't even do that anymore because
there's a battery
that's
down
where
there.
The big battery is. So
yeah.
You lose the stow and go seating.
Yeah. So you got to go. See, the thing is like I feel like from a functionality standpoint, the plug-in hybrid is the best. But if you do go full electric, then you're back to like the engine where that has like a third of the parts.
Yeah. Yes. That's super simple. Yeah. Simple. And then you have all this like empty space too.
Because it's just like, it doesn't need anything else. Yeah.
It's gone full circle like everything else, man.
That's true. But you still can't buy a refrigerator that will last more than 4 years.
Nope. Now they have refrigerators with touch screens on them, and
yes. So, anyways, I'm very sad.
I'm not that cool. I'm not cool enough to like use a fridge that has a touch screen.
Yeah, like a smart.
Because I'll just never use it.
Yeah,
I open it up. Is there food in there? Like the thing where you can see into the fridge.
I've seen
without opening the door.
It's got like a camera or something.
First of all, I'm a dad, okay? I have to be able to complain about you opening the door and keeping it open for too long. Okay, that's like one of my life goals is to be able to complain about that.
It's like your God-given right to say.
You can't design that out of my life.
Yeah. Turn off those lights. Close that. Don't let all the cold air out of the fridge.
Yeah, what are you trying to do? Keep the whole house cool with that door.
You're cooling down the whole neighborhood. Yeah, my parents used to yell at me for that.
Yep.
Well, now, we're so off tangent, but I have a new refrigerator in the house, and it's chock full of things you don't need. It will yell at you if you hold the door open too long.
Yep, the beep, the alarm.
It has like a really long alarm. And I'm like, yeah, I know. I'm standing right.
I know. Okay, I haven't decided what I want to eat yet.
Yeah, don't shame me.
Yep.
So are you gonna see if you can salvage this one?
Yeah, so we'll see what happens in the morning, see where we are, see if my yogurt in there has gone bad. That's hopefully my test. I just leave the yogurt in there.
See what happens to it. Take a big bite. Yeah.
Like, yep, still good. Yogurt is one of those funny things, though. It's like, it's got bacteria in it, live bacteria. So you're like, can it go bad?
Yeah, because the bad bacteria gets in there and starts out-competing the good bacteria. I don't know.
There should be good enough in there that it out-competes everything.
Yeah, but if the temperature changes, then you've changed, like, the environment.
The environment.
Yeah. And then all those bacteria die and all the nasty bacteria that live at, like, room temperature start growing and eating.
All right,
they start eating the good bacteria. Yeah. And so... Well, yeah, I have so my fridge is ancient. Like, it's gotta be. I should try to figure out how old it is, but you know how I know it's super old? It doesn't even have a 3-prong plug.
Wow, it's just the 2, huh?
It's just the 2.
Living on the edge. Living on the edge without the ground, huh?
That's how you know that thing is ancient.
Dude. Oh, that's great.
So, yeah, that one's still running strong.
Nice. Yeah, so hopefully, my wife is like all about wanting to like put the fridge that we have in our house outside as the beer fridge, and then getting a new fridge inside.
One with a camera.
That seems like the most expensive way to.
Oh yeah.
Well, we got the fridge with the house, like, because the house came with the like new appliances.
Oh, nice.
You know, so you didn't get to pick, and it's like a side by side, and she really wants the like the drawer, like the chest freezer at the bottom, you know, the pull out.
French drawers at the pull out.
Yeah, it's a life of luxury I cannot give her right now.
Another negotiation I won with my wife.
Yeah.
We got a side by side.
Okay.
Because it's absurd how much more expensive those French door refrigerators are.
We've lost all our listeners, by the way, now.
Yeah, I don't care.
I'm really sorry.
But I don't understand. It's like the same technology, right? It's got a compressor. And then the rest of it is just like plastic. Okay, cool. You've configured the plastic in a different way, and you want to charge me like an extra $1,000 for it.
Yes, Jason, that's the life we live in. The world we live in. Stop fighting it.
All right, fine. Anyways, you can still get a side-by-side.
Just pay the money.
Yeah. Okay, let's get on to our main topic.
I need to make a theme about that. Like, reconfigure the fridge. Take my money. You put the fridge on the bottom now? Take my money.
Oh, and you know there's going to be a new trend in refrigerator configuration in like 5 years.
On the side.
And then they'll be like, oh, French doors are so 2020. I need lattice doors. I don't know what they'll be called.
Yeah, what's that?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that'd be like a
DeLorean door.
They like fold out. And you can hang fruits for like
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Now the main topic's not going to be any better because we're not.
I know we're not even talking about beer. Well, look, as much as we love beer, there's other things we drink.
Yeah, lots of other beverages.
There's not just beer in the beer fridge.
All right, so
what else is in the fridge? Oh, you go. I want you to start.
Okay, I want to start.
Everybody knows what I drink.
Okay, I want to start with the antithesis of my beer hobby.
Okay.
I like
White Claws.
No, I like drinking coffee, but only because it has caffeine in it, and it wakes me up in the morning. Like if I could alternatively just drink like a little thimble of like caffeine liquid, I would. So I have.
You can take caffeine pills.
Well, I don't want to swallow pills. I need immediate absorption.
Okay.
So I do drink coffee, but I just literally drink like the cheapest possible K-cups I can find. So whatever the cheapest K-cups are at like Costco. It's really nice because I recognize that some coffee is better than other coffee.
Yeah.
Like, sometimes they have the nicer K-cups, the ones that are like biodegradable. Those ones are really good, but they're only cheap when they're on sale. So if they're not on sale, then I just get like the Costco brand, and those ones are just god awful. But I don't care because I only just drink coffee in the morning to wake up. So I see you don't have to be a connoisseur and a snob about everything. Because I know we could have a whole coffee podcast because there's like pour
yeah,
overs
sure.
and French press, but no, just give me whatever the absolute cheapest K-cup in existence is. And I know I shouldn't be drinking K-cup coffee, but the world has other problems. But
So environmentally unfriendly.
I know, it's so awful. I think the guy that like invented the K-cup machine is like lamenting that he ever like brought it into existence.
Never did it, yeah.
Yeah. The problem is I'm the only one in the house that drinks coffee, so if I do make like a whole pot, like no one else is gonna drink it. Yeah, so.
Okay, hold on. Now I just have to do an experiment to look and see if there's coffee podcasts.
Oh, there's gotta be.
Of course there are, yeah, but I just...
What's the most popular coffee podcast called?
Coffee 101. The coffee podcast. People-focused coffee talk.
What is people-focused coffee talk?
It unfolds the wonder behind coffee through conversations with people in and around the coffee industry. It is like beer.
Yep.
See, you can be a snobby about anything.
Anything.
So you're like the Bud Light coffee drinker, basically.
100%. So all those people, if anyone from the People of Coffee podcast listen to this podcast and they tuned in at this exact moment, they would shudder in horror at my K-cup coffee.
Yeah. And maybe those people like Bud Light. You know?
They probably do.
Maybe they're not snobby about their beer, just snobby about their coffee. Okay,
and
but that's a good. But you have an appreciation for like coffee stouts.
Yeah.
Because see, for me, I don't drink coffee at all.
Oh, okay.
I never drank it. I don't drink it now. And so for me, like drinking stouts was kind of hard because it wasn't like a taste I was used to.
That makes sense, like the profile.
Yeah.
So that's what we're going to have to do. We're going to have to get you into coffee.
Yeah. Well, my wife has tried for a long time.
Is your wife a coffee drinker?
She is. She does the, like, I think it's Kirkland. Well, I don't know. It's not Kirkland. What's the donut shop or whatever? Dunkin' Donuts?
Oh, Dunkin' Donuts.
Is it? I think it's just called the Donut Shop.
It's called
coffee.
Donut Shop. Yeah.
Donut Shop coffee. Okay.
That's the good one. I only
We're
get those
also environmentally unfriendly.
I only get those if they're on sale, but I recognize those are better.
Yeah, we usually buy it on sale too. That's what she drinks is the Donut Shop coffee, and that's what she likes. In fact, sometimes if I try to buy, like, if I'm like, oh, there's like one of the Starbucks ones is on sale, or one of the like fancier, and she's like, yeah, I don't want that. I want the Donut Shop coffee. That's all she wants.
Nice. I think that's like the most popular K-cup in existence. This is the Donut Shop.
So. I'm not crazy snobby. You don't have like the Nespresso machine or whatever.
That's the new thing.
Yeah.
Well, it's probably old now, but that was like the K-cups are so 2010. Now you need
now you need an Nespresso
machine. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but anyway, I think I do like you have like ancillary drinks that also feed into your beer appreciation.
Oh yeah, we teased it.
But not me.
Oh yeah, because coffee does, and then I also drink Scotch.
Okay, so I'll go next.
Okay.
While we're on the topic of caffeine and how to get your caffeine.
Yeah, you get caffeine, sir.
So I get caffeine. I say I don't drink coffee, but I get my caffeine. I probably get more caffeine than you do.
Oh, I know you do.
Okay, so are you a person that like when you drink caffeine, you really feel it?
Yeah.
See, for me, like I think I need it, but it doesn't actually really. I don't know. It's weird. I have this weird relationship with like I want to have caffeine in the morning. But I don't feel like there's much difference when I don't do it.
Oh, interesting. Okay. You don't feel like a little bit more sluggish?
No. And when I feel sluggish in the afternoon, I'm like, oh, I need caffeine, and I drink it. It doesn't help. And I could drink like a Red Bull and then go to sleep at night and have no disruption in my sleep.
So either you're not as sensitive to it, or you've drinking so much that your body has upregulated your receptors to a point where like you'll never saturate them.
Yeah.
And I'm guessing it's the latter.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Like, I've consumed so much caffeine my entire life, so that you're probably right. But also, like, I've never felt like I was sensitive to it, so maybe I just...
Yeah, it could be a combination of two.
Yeah, because there are people that just genetically metabolize it.
Oh, okay.
So,
gotcha.
So anyway, but I will say, so Red Bull is my number one caffeine source if I have a preference and a choice.
This man loves Red Bull.
I love it. And what's funny is like I love it more for the taste. Honestly, I love the taste of Red Bull.
So
and let me caveat that with I do not drink sugary drink like actual sugar in my drinks.
Right.
So everything I drink is going to be zero. So I drink, and actually there's Red Bull Zero and there's Red Bull, the sugar-free Red Bull.
Okay.
I prefer the sugar-free Red Bull in this case. I usually prefer the zero. And I don't even know what the difference is. I've looked into the ingredients and I don't know what the difference is.
It's probably just the artificial sweetener.
Yeah, but even then, sometimes they're the same,
Really?
or it's a different combination. I think sometimes of artificial sweeteners. But anyway, sugar-free Red Bull is my favorite. I would drink 10 of those a day if I could afford it.
Yeah, Red Bull's
because I can
expensive.
handle it. By the way, I can handle it. I just can't afford it.
So wait, do you buy like flats of Red Bull at Costco?
So I every once in a while, I only do that when it's on sale though too.
Okay.
Otherwise, so my new like favorite energy drink is C4.
I've not heard of that.
So C4, they're more famous for their pre-workout powder, but they have canned carbonated energy drinks that are Starburst flavors.
Oh, jeez.
So they have red Starburst flavor and pink Starburst flavor, and they're so good. And they have Skittles flavor, officially licensed Skittles flavor.
How did they pull that off?
I don't know, but it's so good. You know me, I'm a candy fiend.
Yeah.
They need a Fruity Pebble flavor.
Ooh, they even advertise themselves as a nootropic.
Yeah. In fact, I have a can right here. Forget it.
Oh, yeah, it's exactly what it looks like. I'm looking at it right now on a... Oh,
pink.
wow, it has actual Starburst on the side.
Yeah, it's pink Starburst flavored. Officially licensed. And
Sounds
let me...
good.
I want to look at my... Okay, so this one uses sucralose and Ace K are the two artificial sweeteners that they use. And I'm immune to all of them.
What do you
Meaning,
mean?
like, I don't have any, like, side effects. Some people, like...
Oh, yeah. It can give you...
I will say, like, stevia, stuff that's only sweetened with stevia, I don't really like. It's a weird taste. It's a weird sweetener. But, what's the one? What's the, like, old school one?
Of artificial sweeteners?
Yeah.
Not sucralose. That's new.
Yeah, that's newer-ish. What's it called?
Well, there was the three. There's the main three, like Sweet and Low. Equal. Remember Equal?
Yeah. Aspartame. Aspartame is the one.
And that's what it is, yeah.
Yeah, I love them all.
I do too, actually.
If I can get something sweet that is zero carb, like a non-caloric sweetener, I'm all about it.
I'm staring at C4 Skittles on Amazon and considering just buying a pallet.
Yeah.
It's expensive, but it's not that expensive.
So I was like picking them up from the grocery store occasionally.
How much do they charge you to just buy one?
Not in bulk. About $2.
Okay.
For a 60-ounce can. Now they have them at Costco.
They do.
Our Costco, at least, they have them.
The Skittles?
Just Starburst.
Okay.
Like pink and red mixed.
And how much do they want? How much does it per can?
And they end up coming out to more like $1.60 a can. So
that's not bad, I guess.
Yeah, it's better. It's better than... So the problem is like the Red Bulls at Costco, those are only 8-ounce cans. It's the small can of Red Bull. And those come out to about $1.60 a can. So volume-wise, I get more for my money with the C4. So anyway, I am an energy drink fiend. I will drink Bangs.
Okay.
Bang, C4, Red Bull. I don't like Monster and Rock Stars.
Okay.
And they have like multiple iterations of those.
Yeah, so many.
I don't like any of them. They're gross. So C4, Red Bull, and Bang. Bang has like so many flavors, like hundreds of flavors. And the only one I haven't liked is Miami Cola.
Huh, that sounds weird.
It's gross. It tastes like tobacco.
Yeah, that sounds awful.
So don't get the Miami Cola one unless you like tobacco.
All right, well, if I can find the C4 at Costco, I'm going to buy it.
So that's what I drink in the morning to wake up. All my coworkers like no.
You drink one in the morning?
Yeah. And they'll even say like no C4 today.
Oh, that's so funny.
And then my other coworker, she loves Red Bull and she drinks that every day.
Can I ask you something about the way you worded that?
Yeah.
So previously you said that you don't think it has an effect on you, but you just said I drink it in the morning to wake up.
Yeah, but like that's what I'm saying, like not in the way that you would think. Like I need to consume something.
Okay,
like
I see.
Because like sometimes I'll just drink like a Coke Zero on my way to work.
Okay, you just want a beverage.
Because I don't eat breakfast.
Oh, I see.
I don't eat until lunch usually. And yeah, I don't know. I just like I like carbonation in the morning. That's another thing. So when I grew up, my grandparents always had Pepsi in the fridge. So my grandpa loved regular Pepsi. My grandma loved Diet Pepsi. They always had both in the fridge. Wait, I have like a picture of like 3 generations in my family all drinking beer. Like a 2-year-old.
Drinking Pepsi.
Yeah, their parent and then my grandpa. Like, yeah, I grew up on Pepsi, real Pepsi, like real sugar Pepsi.
Yeah.
I don't know where I was going with the story.
It's that you drink them in the morning.
Yeah. Oh, so like Saturdays we would go to my grandparents. Like every Saturday we visit my grandparents when I was a kid. And there was my grandpa drinking his Pepsi in the morning out doing his yard work. Like that's what he drank in the morning. So like to me that's just like what you drink in the morning.
I see. Yeah.
So I'm kind of just like I need a carbonated drink
to wake up.
Yeah, not necessarily caffeinated, just or even that much caffeine, because even like just in one Coke Zero is not that much caffeine.
Have you ever gone caffeine free in like have you ever done
Never.
I would love to see if you could go like caffeine free for like 60 days. I wonder what would happen to you. And then if you drink,
I don't know, probably a massive migraine.
And then if you drink caffeine on the 61st day, I think it would hit you like a freight train.
Okay, one day I'll do that.
Okay.
Maybe. Okay, what's something else you drink? Let's get off my caffeine.
No, it's interesting.
It wakes me up. It doesn't wake me up. I can't decide.
Okay, I drink Scotch, and that's
Nice.
because, well, so my dad loves Scotch. For whatever reason, him and my uncle bought a bottle of Scotch, like, they must have been in their 30s or something, and then they just never stopped drinking Scotch. And I always knew they loved Scotch because they'd always drink it. And then when I became, like, drinking age, I really wanted to try it because, like, they were always just, like, sipping their Scotch, and I thought that was so cool. But I hated it. Like, it literally, like, when you first drink Scotch, the way I described it, I said it tastes like if you, like, went into a fireplace that had been burned for, like, 6 months. And you know how there's, like, that metal grate is in there?
Okay. Yeah.
Just imagine it's, like, covered in, like, 6 months of tar and ash, and then just lick that. That's what Scotch tasted like to me before I developed the palate for it. But I just kept drinking it, like, at little sips. And you don't drink a lot, you know, you just sip a little bit. And then it's kind of like beer. It's the same thing. It's like with IPAs. You just keep tasting it and tasting it and tasting it, and it starts to taste less and less like you're licking a fire grill fireplace grate. And then all the sub flavors start to appear to you. And even like now, to the point where I like it, I'll think like, oh, this one is too sweet. But like if you give it to like the uninitiated, they'd be like, what? Like sweet is not even like a flavor I'm detecting at all. But it's all because it's all relative to itself, right? So that's a really fun hobby. And I think that was kind of like what helped me appreciate the more complex beers, because a lot of scotches, so it depends on what you're looking for, but people drink like blended whiskey, and like it just depends on what you enjoy. But some people are looking for things that are, a lot of times if you give someone a really good whiskey or scotch and they don't really know what they're looking for, they'll always describe it as smooth. They'll be like, oh, it's so smooth. Because that's what they do. They do that in the movies. Like, oh, that's the good stuff. And, like, that's smooth. But that's not actually true. Like, I think if you drink Jack Daniel's Blue Label, I've gotten to try that, like, on a couple occasions. And that is, I guess, technically smooth because they're blending it to be very drinkable. But I'm more into the scotch that's phenomenally complex. That sounds like super, I don't know, like elitist and gross. But
no, I don't. I mean, I think it's the same with beer. I think you can have I do this all the time too. Like I fall into the trap of being like, oh yeah, it's like super drinkable or crushable or, you know.
Yeah.
But like that's not always. I mean, it's not necessarily bad. It's just not always what you want.
Yeah, it's just what you're looking for. And sometimes you just want something to drink that's really easy to drink, and sometimes you want something you could just sit down with like for 30 minutes, and it's like the old men with their cigars and their scotch, because like the act of drinking it, it's kind of like when same thing we do, like when we enjoy a really good beer, like the focus is on the beer, and like if you're gonna sip like a pretty complex scotch, you're just gonna sit there and sniff it and taste it and just think about what you're tasting, and it's fun. And what's crazy is the entryway into it is pretty easy. There's a scotch called Glenlivet 12-year. They might not age statement anymore, but you used to be able to get it at Costco for like $21. I think it's probably like $30 now. This is a long time ago, and there's been some inflation recently, but it's insane to me that exists, because it's, if they still put an age statement on, which I think they do, if it still has the 12-year, that means that not a single drop of scotch in that bottle is less than 12 years old, and some of it might be older. So the fact that you can get that for like $30 when, like, I don't know, a bottle of Jack Daniels is, how much does a bottle of Jack cost these days? Like, I used to be able to get
that at least. Or...
I used to be able to get, yeah, I used to be able, I don't know, so I haven't bought Jack Daniels in a long time. But it's crazy, like, you don't have to pay that much more to get something that's like a way more complex and interesting product. But I just think people aren't interested or like whatever. But yeah, if you do have any interest in Scotch, just get like a bottle of Glenlivet 12 and get it at like Costco or Total Wine because you'll get a really good deal on it. And then just pour yourself 2 fingers, they would call it, a couple fingers into a glass, and just smell it and sip it real slow. Mm-hmm. Maybe add a little water and just keep doing that until you like it. Easy. But yeah, I mean, it's
Step
literally
1, drink until you like it.
It's the same thing with beer. That's how I learned to like IPAs. You just keep drinking them until one day it clicks, right? So
yeah, 100%. And I will 100% attest to the fact that it clicks.
Yeah.
Almost overnight, it clicks.
Yeah. So the same thing will happen to Scotch. It's a little less enjoyable. Like it took me years to click, I think.
Yeah.
And I was tasting it pretty regularly, but
well, is it similar in that like hazy IPAs allowed me to get into the IPA world, allowed me to understand hops? Is there a way to like drink maybe a Scotch that's more drinkable?
Yeah, that's why
don't go hard all like at first. Right?
Yeah, that's why I'd recommend like Glenlivet or like Glenmorangie. There's like a couple I would consider like gateway Scotches, and then you can drink something like we talked about it before, Lafroig, which they would said was like still legal during Prohibition. You don't start there because that is like drinking liquid smoke. That still tastes like licking the inside of the fireplace, except now I like that flavor. If that makes sense.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, so
it's like the IPA, the cat ate all your weed and then pissed on a Christmas tree.
Yeah,
that's the flavor I want. Thank you.
Exactly.
That's the one I'm looking for.
So yeah, that's probably my other snobby hobby is besides beer is Scotch.
Okay. Cool. I don't have another snobby hobby other than in terms of drinking. I like gin. Like if I had to just pick a sort of a hard liquor that I like the best, I don't like tequila. Do you like margaritas?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yeah, salted margaritas.
I don't like tequila.
I don't like tequila, but I'll drink a margarita for sure.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not a big margarita fan, and I'm not a big, I don't know, gin is just my favorite. It's just very herbal. It goes really well with, like, I'm just like a big, it sort of fits into my sour beer.
Yeah, that makes sense.
It pairs well with, like, citrusy stuff, lemon. So, yeah, I think, like, just gin drinks sort of fit into, like, the flavor profile that I like. I like gin fizzes because I like that egg white sort of thickness and creaminess. So, I'm a big gin fizz. Tom Collins.
Do you like Hendrick's gin?
Yeah. I'm not snobby about my gin either. So even like the Kirkland gin is pretty good.
Yeah,
from Costco. So.
All the Kirkland liquors are really good. The Kirkland Scotch is really good too.
Yeah. Oh, that's interesting.
It's all like off-labeled, so they get. I can't remember who used to make it for. I think it was Highland Park, but it's basically like it's the good stuff, but they're just like relabeling it as Kirkland. Like I think
it's awesome.
Kirkland's vodka was like Grey. This might be urban legends, but it's tangential to the truth. Where like it's a Grey Goose basically. They make it for Kirkland, but they just don't put their label on it. So I wouldn't be surprised if the gin is really good. The Kirkland gin.
Yeah, it is good. What I need to get into now apparently is Texas gin. So Texas is fairly well known for their, I think it's juniper.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Which is one of the like herbs in gin.
Yeah.
But it's a little bit different in Texas. Like the Texas juniper has sort of its own flavor profile. So apparently Texas gins that use Texas juniper are pretty unique.
Interesting. I love that.
So I've heard that getting Texas made gins is kind of it's just another step, like another sort of, if you like gin, try Texas gin, see if you like that more, kind of explore that. So that's kind of my next exploration in something other than beer would be trying some Texas made gins.
Yeah, that sounds fun. Yeah. I hate gin, by the way.
Really?
Yeah, I don't, that flavor doesn't resonate with me.
Yeah, well, hey, it can't all be awesome. You drink your Scotch, I'll drink my gin. And Scotch, I've tried some Scotches with you. Yeah. Take a while for me to get it.
You got to do it a lot more. The other theory about why old men like Scotch is because you start to be able to taste less and less. Like your ability to taste narrows. So like my grandfather, when he was quite old, used to just chew on he'd eat lemons basically. Because he said it's like one of the few things that he can still taste.
Oh, that's so sad.
And it was not horrible. So that's Some people think old people drink Scotch because it's a very, very potent flavor. So your old taste buds can still
actually
taste it. Yeah.
Huh. Interesting.
I don't know if that's true, but the next, I have one we agree on.
Okay.
We're both soda fiends.
Like I detailed my soda childhood.
Yeah, and I don't know why I love soda so much, but I love. You know what? So we're the opposite. You had soda when you were a kid, and my mom was kind of like a health nut when I was a kid, and she like basically banned soda like in the house. So for me, it was always like the forbidden fruit. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I love basically every soda.
When you could have it, you just
I went crazy. So I'll drink like Wild Cherry Pepsi, I think is my favorite soda. And then Dr. Pepper is like a close second. But I will drink any soda. Every time they do like a special flavor, I buy it because I'm an idiot. And we've talked about this before.
Yeah, soda and Oreos.
Yeah, we just drank, actually my wife got super excited. She got like that EDM artist Marshmello or whatever? He has like a Coke flavor out now. It's like watermelon Coke or something. She got some cans of that for us and we were like, wait, this guy's name is Marshmello. Why didn't they make like marshmallow Coke? Because that sounds good. The watermelon it was disgusting.
Sounds horrible.
It was awful. She couldn't even finish. I drank hers.
Oof. Yeah. I got you.
It was like it was basically the same thing happened with that Big Red. It's like, oh, this is so disgusting, and then I just drink the whole thing.
Did your wife try it?
Yeah, she hated it.
Yeah.
Hated it.
Yeah. I don't like it either.
It's vile, but like there's some part of me that's like, yes, give me this disgusting beverage and I'll drink it all.
Yeah, for me, I was a long time like Coke, Pepsi, any cola, RC cola.
Yes, RC.
And they're all very different. But I like them all.
Same. I'll drink Coke or Pepsi. I don't care.
Yeah, doesn't matter to me. I'm sure I could do like a side-by-side tasting and call them out exactly as they are. Yeah.
Easy.
Yeah, that's just who I am. Like, I just love the Coke, but I love them all. Like, there were always the like Coke and Pepsi people. And I think it had something to do with the fact that growing up, so my grandparents say, oh, it has Pepsi. Like, that was Pepsi and Ford. Okay. Those are the two companies you didn't go.
That's really funny.
You did not abandon, okay? Pepsi and Ford. A white Ford. If it wasn't a white Ford, just get out of the family. That's not what you were driving.
Wow.
Okay. Just kidding. Wasn't that harsh, but seemed like that's what they always had. The Ford, what's the big Crown Vic?
Oh, Crown Vics.
My grandparents drove Crown Vics. That was it. You'd be like, you'd come over to the house and you'd be looking at the car. And
is that new?
I think that's new.
But it looks exactly the same. Yeah.
And be like, Grandpa, new Crown Vic? Oh yeah, I traded in my old one. Looks the same. I don't think they ever changed the.
No, I feel like it had one generation, one body style.
It was regular or police.
Yeah, police. Yeah, or decommissioned police. Yeah.
And then I remember he got what was the Ford side brand? Link? No.
Oh, Mercury.
Mercury. They had the Mercury.
The Marauder? No.
The Grand Marquis.
Grand Marquis. Yeah.
So I distinctly remember doing it, same thing, going to Grandpa's garage, looking at his car, being like, "That's not a Ford," and being like, "Oh, it's the Mercury Grand Marquis." And I totally called him out on it, and he's like, "Oh yeah, it's the same thing." I got a great deal on it. I love my grandpa was one of the greatest men I've ever met. By the way, he was so awesome, and he loved his cars and he loved his Fords. And he's like, it's basically a Ford anyway. So he rationalized his way out of it.
Nice, he escaped.
Yeah. So that was, I think, the last one they ever had was the Grand Marquis. They drove that one for a while, and then he switched. They got a Ford Escape or something, like SUV. I was like, dang, finally.
A modern era. You don't drive a boat anymore.
Yeah, Fords and Pepsi. So yeah, that's what I grew up on was Pepsi. But in my house, like my parents, they would just buy whatever was on sale. So if you go to the grocery store, there was like always one of those was on sale. Yeah. Pepsi or Coke. And that was just whatever was on sale. That's what you got. And then, but I love all the store brand Cokes.
You like those? Okay.
Oh yeah, like Safeway, I think had all the like generic brand Cokes.
You know what's insane about that to me is like they literally all taste different.
Yeah, no, they do. No, 100%. And if I've been drinking so now I'm on the zeros, right? So Coke Zero is my number one jam.
Yeah.
Well, I'll drink the store Zero Coke, the generic brands. And if I've been drinking name brand Coke Zero for a while, and then I switch over to that, 100% I notice it.
Yeah.
Oh, this is totally different. Don't care.
But you're like fine with that.
Yeah, do not care. Yep, love it. And then like a week into that, I'm like, I can't remember how regular Coke Zero tastes until I drink it again. But
that's really funny.
I love all the Zero Cokes. Pepsi Zero is bomb too.
Yeah, the zeros are the best thing that ever happened to Diet Soda.
And we should postscript. This is like exactly what is the difference between Diet Coke and Coke Zero.
I think it's got to be
the artificial sweetener. Yeah,
it's the artificial
or
sweetener.
the combination of
the
balance of how they use them. But
yeah, it's wild that they still make like Diet Coke and they make Coke Zero, and they probably both sell really well because there's like people get hooked on like one thing, and they drink that till they die. So, okay, soda. We both love soda.
Yeah.
What else? I think you had one more. Do you have tea? You're a tea drinker?
Yeah. So I don't drink a whole lot of tea, but in the winter time, I love chai tea.
Okay.
So like a black tea with like cinnamon and vanilla notes, like that's my jam. Cardamom.
That's the only thing I get at Starbucks.
Chai tea.
Chai
latte. Yeah. So going back to my like artificial sweeteners. So I do like a chai tea, and I do this hot and cold over ice too, depending on the temperature. But I do chai tea they have like these stevia drops, artificial sweetener, like a dropper. And so they're vanilla flavored stevia drops. So I do a couple of those just to sweeten it a little bit. And then I do heavy cream.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so a little heavy cream, a little stevia, vanilla sweetener into my chai tea. Oh, that's so bomb.
That sounds good.
So good. Yeah. And it's kind of filling, too, because the full-fat dairy.
Yeah, that's no joke.
Yeah, it's a good breakfast.
You're all about drinks for breakfast.
Low-calorie drinks for breakfast. And that's it.
Nice.
0 to low calorie.
0 to low.
But like black tea, I like black tea in general.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. Green tea, not as like high. I do like green tea, but black tea is my favorite.
Gotcha. Yeah, I don't drink a lot of tea.
No?
Just coffee. I'll drink... Oh, there's one tea I like. It's like cinnamon tea, basically. It's called like... I'll have to postscript it. It's called like sweet and spicy. It's so good if you can get it. They had it at like a random Korean restaurant. They had it like as dessert. It was so nice because like whatever you order, you'd have they have all like the kimchi stuff, so all the fermented, and then you would like cook it was one of those places where you cook the meats yourself, and then at the end they bring you this tea, and it was cinnamon tea, and it's delicious, and I was like, what is this? And they told me, and then I found it. It's really good. Nice. So it's so random. I don't think it's like actually traditional. It's whatever. This restaurant just served cinnamon tea at the end of the meal. Yeah, and it was like, oh, this is really good. So, okay, so did we cover all our weird random beverages?
I think so.
Oh, I have cocktails written down.
Oh, okay.
Oh, you talked about your gin.
Yeah, I like gin cocktails. It's basically what I order. If I'm ordering a cocktail, it's probably gin based.
So I get Rusty Nail, if they'll make me one, which is a percentage up to 50%, or up to like 66% Scotch.
Okay.
And then the rest of it is, but you can make it 50-50. That's how I like it, because I like it sweet. Drambuie, which is like a herbal liqueur from Scotland. 50-50 on ice.
Okay.
If you can get one of those.
I like that. And yeah, it's called a Rusty Nail.
It's called a Rusty Nail. If you're at a restaurant or any establishment and you order a Rusty Nail and the server or who's ever helping you barkeep doesn't blink, you know you're in a classy joint.
All right. And okay, so what if I order a Rusty Nail and they ask me what was it, Scotch?
Yeah, you want one with Glenlivet.
Okay, Glenlivet.
Otherwise, they'll make it with like Jameson's, which is fine.
See, they do this with me with gin all the time too.
Yeah, they ask you what you want.
I always say Beefeater.
Okay. Well, there's a certain logic.
I don't know why.
Well, okay, here's the logic. So like one day
I had to pick one so that when they ask me and I just like don't hesitate, they're like, okay, this guy knows what he likes.
So you don't have to have that like the weird social awkwardness.
I don't know.
Yeah, you pick for me. I think the secret is, because I've done this, I did like a Rusty Nail flight.
Okay.
And we made it with like Jameson's, Glenlivet, and then I used a really good Scotch. Mm-hmm. And it's like Goldilocks. You want to be right in the middle, because The Glenlivet one is like better than the Wells. Yeah, whatever they're going to use. But once you put the really good stuff in it, you're wasting it.
Then it's not worth it. Okay.
So I think your Beefeater is a good choice.
Yeah, that's what I always figure. Like, it's one that like they'll always have. Hendrick's second. I do that too sometimes where I say that. Tanqueray. I say Tanqueray sometimes too.
That one's like, is that the one that's blue?
Uh-huh.
This is just the bottle that's blue though, huh?
Yeah, I think so.
Let me trick you.
And I only know that one because Snoop Dogg says something about Tanqueray tonic.
Oh my gosh, that's so funny.
I'm like, oh, that must be good.
If Snoop Dogg drinks it, must be good.
Yeah.
All right, sir. Well, we almost talked nothing about beer, but
yeah,
is that an episode?
That's an episode. Thanks for hanging with us. If you did,
Do you think anyone's still listening?
I think so. Because honestly, hearing us laugh at each other is probably why people listen now.
Yeah, it's about the power of friendship, not about beer.
Yes, even we can laugh at ourselves laughing.
Nothing annoys my wife more than if I laugh and she asks me what I'm listening to and I say our podcast. She thinks that's repulsive.
I love it. Oh, I love that so much.
That's okay.
I giggle my way through editing, I promise.
Nice.
Yep.
My wife's and I relationship is perfect because without her to continuously chop me down, my ego would dwarf the size of the sun. So she keeps me perfectly perfectly balanced. All right. Well, if you want to reach us, we're available on Instagram at attenuation.podcast, and you can also email us at contact.attenuation@gmail.com.
Send me your favorite gin cocktail recipe.
Yeah, send us some cocktail recipes and some energy drink suggestions.
Ooh, you know what? I saw one. It was called a Corona Sunrise, I think.
Okay.
And you take a Corona, you drink it down to the label, to the top of the label. And then you put in like a shot of orange juice, a shot of tequila, and some grenadine.
Whoa.
And then drink the rest like that.
That sounds good.
Oh, and like drop a lime in there too.
I want to try that.
Corona Sunrise.
Huh. All right, cool. So that's your last tip of this episode. But this has been episode 72 of Attenuation, a beer podcast. My name is Jason, and I'm joined by my best friend since 8th grade, Steven.
That's me.
We were saying cheers, and we'll see you next week where we promise we'll talk about beer.
Maybe.
Episode 73.
Cheers, buddy.
Cheers.
Thanks for listening to this week's episode of Attenuation, a beer podcast. Don't forget to subscribe to the podcast and follow us on Instagram or Facebook for more fun content. Catch you next week. Cheers!